How to fly an airplane. If you're looking to fly a plane legally and safely, you'll need to sign up for thorough training and get your pilot's license. But if you're curious about what a pilot does to safely fly a plane, or you're embarking on flying lessons yourself, this overview of the process can provide some insights. It's not a simple task, and a full airplane manual comprises hundreds of pages. The below basics will help get you familiar with what a pilot does, and, as a pilot trainee, what you will encounter during your first few training flights. If you would like a more detailed article or for an emergency situation, visit Prepare to Fly an Airplane in an Emergency or fly a Cessna. Learning the controls. Perform an inspection of the aircraft before getting in. Before taking off, it's important to perform a walk-around examination called a pre-flight. This is a visual inspection of the aircraft to verify that the airplane components are in good working order. Your instructor should provide you with a highly useful operating checklist for the specific plane, and this checklist will tell you exactly what to do in each phase of flight, even pre-flight. The basics of pre-flight. Check control surfaces. Remove any control locks and make sure your ailerons, flaps, and rudder are moving freely and smoothly. Visually check your fuel tanks and oil. Make sure they're filled to the specified levels. To check the fuel level, you'll need a clean fuel measuring rod. To check oil, there's a dipstick in the engine compartment. Check for fuel contaminants. This is done by draining a small amount of fuel into a special glass container tool, and looking for water or dirt in the fuel. Your instructor will show you how. Fill out a weight and balance sheet which helps ensure that you are not flying outside the capabilities of your airplane. Your instructor will show you how. Look for nicks, dings, and any other type of body damage. These small imperfections might inhibit your aircraft's flying ability, especially if the prop is compromised. Always check props before an engine start. Use caution around airplane props. If there are electrical issues with the plane, the prop could turn over unexpectedly, causing severe injury. Check emergency supplies. Although it is not pleasant to think about, prepare for the worst. There is always the possibility of something going wrong with the aircraft. Make sure there is a supply of food, water, and first aid items. Also ensure that you have an operating radio, flashlight, and batteries. A weapon may be needed along with standard repair parts for the plane. Locate the flight control column in the cockpit. When you take your seat in the cockpit, all of the systems and gauges will look complicated, but they'll look much simpler once you become familiar with what they do. In front of you will be a flight control that looks like a modified steering wheel. This control, more commonly called the yoke, works like a steering wheel in a car. It controls the pitch of the nose up or down and banking of the wings. Get a feel for the yoke. Push to go down, pull to go up, and use left and right to roll, unsurprisingly, left and right. Don't use too much force when flying. It doesn't take much to control the plane. Locate the throttle and fuel mixture controls. They are usually located between the two seats in the cockpit. The throttle is black, and the mixture knob is red. In general aviation, they are usually just push-pull knobs. Thrust is controlled by the throttle and the mixture knob adjusts the fuel-to-air ratio, lean or rich in gas. Familiarize yourself with the flight instruments. On most aircraft, there are 6 primary flight instruments located along 2 horizontal rows. These indicators are often referred to as the six-pack and show, among other things, altitude, attitude, orientation of the aircraft relative to Earth's horizon, compass heading, and speed, both forward and up or down, rate of climb. Top left, the airspeed indicator shows aircraft airspeed, usually in knots. A knot is 1 nautical mile per hour, about 1.15 mph or 1.85 kilometers per hour. Top center, the artificial horizon shows the aircraft attitude, that is, whether the plane is climbing or descending and how it is banking, left or right. Top right, the altimeter shows the height altitude of the aircraft, in feet MSL, feet above mean, or average, sea level. Lower left, the turn and bank indicator is a dual instrument which tells how fast you are changing the compass heading, rate of turn, and also whether you are in coordinated flight. This is also called the turn and slip indicator or needle ball. Lower center is the heading indicator which shows your aircraft current compass heading. This instrument should be calibrated usually every 15 minutes. To calibrate, adjust the instrument to agree with the compass. This is done on the ground or, if in flight, only in straight and level flight. Lower right is the vertical speed indicator which tells how fast you are climbing or descending in feet per minute. 0 means that you are maintaining altitude and are neither climbing nor descending. Locate the landing gear controls. Many small planes have fixed gear, in which case you will not have a landing gear control knob. For airplanes that do have a landing gear control, the location varies, but it usually has a white rubber handle. You will be using this after you take off and before you land and taxi the plane. It may deploy any non-fixed landing gear, wheels, skis, skids, or floats beneath. Place your feet on the rudder pedals. These are a set of pedals at your feet used to control the rudder which is attached to the vertical stabilizer. When you want to make minor adjustments to go left or right on the vertical axis, use the rudder pedals. Basically, the rudder controls the yawing aspect of turning the aircraft. Turning on the ground is also controlled by the rudder pedals and or the brakes, not by the yoke.